kidding me? An orphan kid grows up on a remote desert planet, is somehow an amazing pilot with little to no practice, joins the rebellion to help destroy a giant planet-killing machine. Come on, it's a complete rehash of episode 4.
But maybe that's the point, that stories are cyclical.
Bullshit! That story's been done. Give me something new, for Christ's sake.
Oh, we should get the check. What's this?
What? Loser buys breakfast.
Let me see your right hand. You and your damn magic.
There's no such thing as magic, Renee. Everything has a logical explanation.
Spoken like a true mathematician. You cheated.
It was a simple misdirection. It wasn't cheating. You just weren't looking in the right place.
Fine. But I'm not tipping. What? You don't believe in God? I don't believe in tipping.
Don't you think about anyone but yourself? Same time next week?
Yeah, but you're paying.
We'll see about that. What the hell? Hey man, where are we?
Hello, Frank.
Who the hell are you?
I go by many names.
Right. So this is supposed to be...
Yes, Frank. This is hell.
Not really what I thought it would be like.
What did you think it would be like?
Never really given it much thought. I'm an atheist.
Ooh, an atheist.
Yep.
So you don't believe in me either, I suppose.
Not really.
Well, then, how do you explain all this?
Some prank? Very funny, Renee. Very funny. You can come out now. Joke's over.
You do remember getting hit by the car, don't you?
Oh, man.
I'm sorry, Frank, but you're dead.
Okay. Maybe I'm dead. Or dying. This is just some chemical dump from my dying brain. One last hurrah before lights out.
So when the brain finally dies, it just goes all black? Just nothingness?
Makes sense? Kind of like sleep.
Even in sleep, you still dream. It's not all black.
Okay, bad analogy, I guess.
Well, why don't you have a seat while you wait? Shouldn't take too long, should it?
Wouldn't think so. Well, maybe time is stretched out or warped in my mind or something.
Ah, yes. Time is funny that way, huh? All a matter of perspective.
Theory of relativity, I guess.
You know, Frank, the existence of God is really a matter of perspective as well.
How's that?
Well, you don't mind if we engage in some philosophical discussion. While we wait for your brain to die, that is.
Sure, why not?
Great. It's a little hobby of mine. So, you say there is no God?
I see no evidence to believe that there is.
A rational man. I admire that. But I posit that the evidence is there. You just cannot perceive it. It is a limit of your being.
Well, Lucifer, please enlighten me.
I hope to do just that. Have you ever heard of the Tommy Westfall universe theory?
Can't say that I have.
There was a show on television in the 1980s called St. Elsewhere. Do you know of it?
Vaguely?
It was a drama set in a hospital named St. Eligius, which the staff mockingly referred to as St. Elsewhere.
Okay.
The final episode of the series was quite a shocker at the time. It ended in an apartment with an autistic child named Tommy Westfall staring into a snow globe. His father, who viewers knew as Dr. Westfall, comes home after a long day on the construction site.
Construction site? I thought you said he was a doctor.
Exactly what the viewers of the show had come to believe over the course of 6 seasons. Another man enters, who the viewers know as Dr. Auslander. But he is not a doctor either. Here, he is Tommy's grandfather.
I'm confused.
As was the audience. At the very end, we peer into that snow globe that has little Tommy so enthralled. The camera pushes in closer and closer until we see that inside that small dome of glass is St. Eligius Hospital.
What?
The entire 6 seasons of the show were actually in Tommy Westfall's head the whole time. He had created these characters, these doctors, from people he knew, like his father, grandfather, etc. But these characters were all in his head. There was no St. Eligius, no Dr. Westfall, no Dr. Auslander.
Okay, twist ending. So what?
It goes deeper.
Deeper.
You know what a crossover is?
Where characters from one show appear on another.
Precisely. St. Elsewhere has many crossovers. Characters from here appear on other shows like Homicide.
I remember that show.
That was in Tommy's head as well.
How's that?
If St. Elsewhere is in Tommy's head, then those characters are in his head. Anywhere they appear, it follows, must be in Tommy's head as well.
But is it not possible they exist outside his head and Tommy imagines people he knows?
Very true. But, as illustrated by his father and grandfather, they are not in the same form as in his head. They are doctors in his head. So if those people exist on other shows in the same form they are in St. Elsewhere, then those characters must be in Tommy's head.
Fair enough.
Then, from Homicide, just as one example, the connections grow exponentially. Detective Munch from Homicide appeared on numerous other shows, The Wire, X-Files, Law & Order, just to name a few. And characters from all those shows have crossed over into still more shows.
So how many shows are supposedly inside this kid's mind?
Some have asserted that at least 90% of all American television is a figment of Tommy's imagination.
It's pretty interesting, but I don't see how that's relevant here.
Let's peel back another layer. The Bob Newhart show is in Tommy's mind as well. Elliot Carlin, a patient of Bob Hartley's, appeared on St. Elsewhere.
Simple enough.
So everything related to the Bob Newhart show is in Tommy's head.
It would follow.
Do you remember the second Bob Newhart show, simply named Newhart?
I do.
And do you remember the famous finale it had?
It ended up being a dream from the Bob from the first show, right?
Exactly. All of Newhart was just a dream of Bob Hartley's from the Newhart show. So all of the characters, Dick and Joanna Loudon, Larry, his brother Daryl, his other brother Daryl, everyone were all inside Bob Hartley's head. They do not have an existence outside of him. And yet he, Bob Hartley, is only a figment of Tommy Westfall's imagination, as we have already established.
Whoa.
And all the other TV shows that Newhart connects to are also down in that lower level of Tommy's mind.
You're making my brain hurt.
I can connect Newhart to over 50 shows, like Mork and Mindy, L.A. Law, Hill Street Blues, Gilligan's Island.
All right. I get the point.
Fine. So now we have this sub-level in Tommy's head as well.
I still don't see where you're going with all this, though.
Existence is relative to perspective.
Perspective.
None of the characters on any of those hundreds of TV shows are aware of Tommy Westfall, correct?
I guess not.
He created them, and he is aware of them. He is their god, wouldn't you say?
I guess I'll grant you that, but we're still talking fiction.
Are we?
Yes, we are.
How about another layer? This one goes deeper, yet crawls upward.
That doesn't make any goddamn sense.
I'm sure you know who Johnny Carson is.
Of course.
Well, Carson appeared as himself on an episode of Newhart. Johnny Carson is a real person, is he not? Someone in your reality?
Wait a minute. Are you suggesting that reality is inside Bob's head, and by extension in the mind of some autistic boy? That's a stretch.
Perhaps. But that's not important. I only use this hypothesis to illustrate a point.
Which is?
That existence is layered.
Okay, but that doesn't prove that God exists.
I'm coming to that. But you need the bowl before you can have the soup.
What the hell does that mean?
Let's take Dickens. He created Tiny Tim. He is Tiny Tim's creator, his god.
In a sense, sure.
Let's talk about the reader now. He or she has an awareness of the character Tiny Tim, correct?
Obviously.
But Tiny Tim has no awareness of the author or the reader, right?
No, I guess not.
Dickens and his readers have awareness of and control over Tiny Tim that he does not have of them. They are gods to him.
I'll give you the author, but how is the reader a god?
They can close the book at any time, ceasing poor Tiny Tim's life, and they can resurrect him, open the pages once more, and resume. Tiny Tim never thinking he missed a beat. Powers of a god, wouldn't you say?
I'm about done with this. You're still talking fiction.
All right, I'm almost done. You only see in 3 dimensions, Frank. You cannot see things that occur in the 4th dimension.
True. The 4th dimension is time, right?
Sort of.
Sort of?
What if I told you I could show you the 4th dimension, and in that 4th dimension, you would see your God?
I'd say prove it.
Step closer. Lean in. Don't worry, I'm not going to hurt you.
My God.